Alright, how about now? There we go. Hello, no bean. Oh, right. Let me. I was out here messing with OBS for like 10 minutes. And I'm like, why I have no sound? This is dumb. I'm supposed to have sound. Why is OBS broken? Turns out I just didn't. I had it connected to my laptop, not my PC. My bad. Sorry for being bad at technology. I am a bad beanie. Very bad beanie. I put this damn thing on. Alright, this is y'all watching how the sausage is made. My hair's actually getting longer, so I have to like go through all this extra like easy, breezy, beautiful cover beanie. There we go. Oh man, I look like the way I put it on. I kind of look like a background dancer in like a Blink 182 music video. All I need is like the oversized fucking like the I was gonna no not the striped tee but like the long john tee, no, the long john like long sleeves with the striped tee on top. That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Hey, what's up, Adam? What's up, Remix? How y'all living? All right, let's see. No bean. I got my beanie on now. Um, when and where and when did you get that necklace? I actually got this necklace at a cultural festival. A couple uh, a couple miles outside of DC. Um, it's it's a it's a it's a town called like Silver Spring. There's like a cultural event and festival every once in a while, so I got it out there. I haven't seen those vendors like ever since I got this, so you know. I have seen Wakanda Forever. You want me to talk about it? Cause I can. I might do a video on it at some point. I just it's oh, what's up, Supreme? Uh, respect. Yeah. Hey. Oh yeah. First of all, before we go any further, cheers to the friggin' bat. Rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. The man was like 60. That's young. Damn. I don't know what it was, but still, just that's unfortunate. Um, but yeah, major respect to Kevin Conroy. Um, the Batman voice of a whole generation. So, um, intense intestinal cancer. Damn, that sucks. Um, well, I offered my prayers, my wishes. I don't know if he has family at all. You know, but much love to those who loved him. But damn. Oh, his husband disclosed. Okay. I didn't know like how. I don't know like if his. I didn't know he was married. Yeah, wow. Okay. For the life of me, I thought like Kevin Conroy was just like hanging out in like Wayne Manor or something. But no, I didn't know he was married. Okay, cool. Well, I hope his husband is okay in this shitty process because it's never fun. Um, but to remix, I I am probably going to do a Wakanda Forever video, but I don't want to. Wakanda Forever is just not a movie I really want to think about. Can I be honest with y'all? I I didn't hate it. Like I know a lot of people like have a real problem with it and they're like up in arms because it's the internet. And everyone has to be up in arms about something. But like, I was just kind of disappointed. Like I get why they made the movie they made. It's just I was not a fan of the movie they made, and I think a big problem that I take with the movie that they made is because they decided, it was a very big decision, but they decided to not recast T'Challa, which is a decision that I understand and I respect, but narratively, character-wise, thematically, it was a mistake to not recast T'Challa. And I don't want to really spoil it for anyone who like hasn't seen the movie. Actually, no, my mom hasn't seen the movie. She's like in the room down that way. We got like real thin walls in this house, so I don't really want to. Yeah, but they should have just recasted T'Challa. That's how I feel. But I'll make a video about that at some point down the line. I will say, someone I went to high school with worked on that movie. I just found this out, and yeah, major props to them. I mean, I didn't really know them that well, but I didn't really know. Outside of like maybe 4 people, I didn't really know anyone in high school that well, but hey, credit where credit's due. Major props. As if anyone from my high school watches these videos. But if they do, hey, nice. Let's see. Supreme says, hey, what's up, Supreme? Been reading Englehart and Rogers' Bronze Age Batman run with Strange Apparitions. I hate you for having a comic that I don't have access to because I'm not paying $70 for that trade. Actually, I feel Englehart and Rogers are just as iconic as O'Neill and Adams. Oh, definitely. I feel like Englehart and Rogers kind of fall into that category of being they're the unconscious, right? Like, there people were they're creators that are the conscious muse. Like Denny O'Neill and Neil Adams, I would consider them as the conscious muse for the iconography of Batman and what that character like later becomes in the pop culture zeitgeist down the line. Same like I would also consider Jeff Johns a conscious muse for the character of Green Lantern, along with Ethan Van Sciver. I would consider what's his name? He's the dude that like, he has like nothing but like boomer takes about anime and freaks out all the time, but he's a damn good writer. Jerry Conway. I would consider Jerry Conway and not Gil Kane, Ramita Senior, as conscious muses for Spider-Man. But then there are unconscious muses, right? In the same way that Steve Englehart and Roger Stern, not Roger Stern, I think it's Roger Marshall, as unconscious muses for Batman. Like a lot of stuff comes from their material that no one really thinks about. Like Deadshot, for example, comes from their material. Hugo Strange, basically coming back from the dead and being like a character in the Batman books again. He like that's part of that like Roger Marshall and Steve Englehart material. That's kind of like an unconscious muse. Like no one really talks about it. And it's not really in the pop culture zeitgeist, but a lot of stuff they worked on weaves its way into a lot of modern interpretations of the character of Batman. You know, just like I would consider another Unconscious Muse creative team to be, I guess for Green Lantern, is Ron Mars. A lot of what we kind of think of in terms of like the Green Lantern like lore and mythology, a lot of that comes from Ron Mars, you know. So yeah, I don't know. Peter David's the same way too with Aquaman. Like a lot of modern Aquaman is pulling from Peter David's Aquaman really hard. That's another character like that has that Unconscious Muse. So yeah, man, great job like checking out some of that like older Batman stuff. It's great. But I hate you for having access to comics that I don't have, and would really like to read. Actually, let me share this out real quick because I like didn't do that at all. We're live. Come hang out if you can. That's a good like Twitter thing, right? Yeah, something like that. All right. Oh, what's up, 616 man? How you doing? Adam says, in your opinion, among these three characters, who was the best developed and had the best runs? Spider-Man, Flash, John Constantine. John Constantine. John Constantine. Flash is like kind of tricky because like that's like it's like 4 characters right there. I mean, I think of the Flashes, there are definitely characters in that legacy who are like really well developed. Some better than others, I would argue. But then you get Spider-Man. Spider-Man's been a hot mess since like the 90s, and I just doesn't even really belong in that equation anymore. But no, John Constantine is definitely a very well developed character, and that's like including a lot of material that I don't like, you know, especially throughout the early to mid 2000s. There's a lot of stuff that I'm just not a fan of. Granted, it's stuff that I wasn't a fan of at the time I was reading it. I don't know, man. My mind changes on some stuff here and there every once in a while. There are comics that I consider really bad that I have since reread and go like, oh, that's actually not that bad. And then there are comics that I hailed and said was like the greatest shit in the world, and then went back and said, oh, this is awful. Why did I make 2 videos just jerking off Long Halloween? That comic's awful. It's not awful, but it's not nearly as good as I like to remember it being when I first read it when I was like 9. But I don't know, even among some of the like really crappy John Constantine like Hellblazer books, I think John's a really well developed character from, you know, Jimmy Delano onward to who was the last writer to work on Hellblazer? Was that Mike Carey? I want to say it was Mike Carey. I want to say like Mike Carey had like a second go around. I don't know. I'll have to double check. I don't have all the Hellblazer books on me, but yeah. I definitely think John's the best developed of all those characters. What's up? What's up? Are you trying to get laid? And you have me on? God, I'm flattered. I'm so flattered. I know I like you. Hey man, get it. Hey, fellas. This is for 616 right now. We got this. We got this. Lend him your energy. I want to get to that part in I'm using it to prop up my camera right now, but fuck it, whatever. I want to get to that part in this game, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. This is really cool. I feel like this is like the definitive Dragon Ball Z experience. I say that as someone who's not a fan of Dragon Ball Z at all, but yeah, no, I'm playing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. I'm really invested in that world in a way that like I just could not get invested through like the manga and the anime. Both really expertly handled, just not I just can't really get into it the same way that I can get into like I guess an interactive experience with that world and those characters. Adam says I felt the theme of the movie worked well without T'Challa. More power to you. I had a lot of problems with it. Wakanda Forever to me felt like The Dark Knight Rises. Like while I'm watching it, I am thinking in my head, best movie ever, best film in this franchise, best mind-blowing, best everything. Everything, yeah. The best movie ever, yeah. But then I start thinking about it. And then just like a little string, just one little string, I start tugging on, and then just everything starts to unravel. It just kind of it comes apart the more I think about it, and it's kind of why I'm hesitant to think about it. But yeah, I'll make a video about the film at some point. I definitely will. Let's see. Who else? I really hope they. Remix says I really hope they reprint Batman Strange Apparitions at some point. I've been wanting to read it for years. Yeah, I mean, from what I recall, when I read it at like Books A Million or something years ago, I liked it. A lot of like what I've read of it is just me reading stuff about it and like hearing people talk about it in like YouTube videos. But it's definitely a book I'd like to like read for myself at some point, definitely. I had no idea that you lived with a family. Figured you lived in like the watchtower in space. That'd be dope. I'd do that. Put me on a friggin' phallic moon base. I'll do it. Unless you mean like the like DC animated universe watchtower, which I guess is like also the pre-crisis watchtower. I don't like that one. That one, I don't know why. I'm more comfortable with the idea of a lunar-based watchtower than I am a free-floating, like, orbital watchtower. That freaks me out. Just, what if an asteroid hits and then just veers the whole thing into the atmosphere and then like, crash and burn? I don't know, man. I don't like it. It freaks me out. I've seen that thing damn near fall out of the sky one too many times to be okay with the pre-crisis in like animated universe version of the Watchtower. Just no. And it's always Green Arrow who's in there when the shit goes down. Okay, so if I lived in the DC universe and I was a superhero and I was invited to be in the Justice League, first order of business, do not be on the Watchtower when Green Arrow's on the Watchtower. Something will go wrong and then you will die. That's just how that goes. Does a miniseries count as a run? Like Batman Year One and Dark Knight Returns? No. 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 Yeah. No. No. A miniseries does not count as a run, I don't think. You're trying to accomplish two different goals. With a miniseries, from the get-go, you have a limited amount of time to explore these ideas and these concepts with this character, and the pacing is kind of like, the pacing's set. For a run, on the other hand, you're given a lot more breathing room. It's kind of like the difference between making a movie and making a TV series. You know? Like, you just get more to do, I feel, with a run, whereas with a miniseries, you're constrained. Like, I feel like if you ever gave Frank Miller, since you bring up Dark Knight Returns, if you put Frank Miller on Batman, it would be completely different from what Dark Knight Returns and Batman Year One are. He would just do very different things with that character. Kind of like how I feel like if you ever gave Tom King an ongoing Superman title, as much as everyone loves to rant and rave and, misbehave about what's that book? Is it Up in the Sky? Which is a really great Superman comic, mind you. But for as much as everyone likes to simp for that comic, I guarantee you that if you gave Tom King a Superman ongoing, which would run for like 100 issues, the general consensus would be Tom King looked bad. Because Tom King he's doing very different things with miniseries versus ongoings. And it's not just a Tom King thing either. That's the case with everybody. So, yeah, I know. Long story short, do miniseries count as runs? No, because with a run, I consider a run an ongoing thing. You're doing something different with that. But yeah, I hope that answers your question. Remix says, do you have any favorite manga? I do have favorite manga. Yeah. I think I've talked about some of my favorite manga on here. I absolutely love Akira, It is in a spot down there on my bookshelf behind some of my dirty clothes. Fuck, I gotta do laundry tonight. But yeah, I have Akira down there on my bookshelf. One of my favorite manga so far. I'm also a big fan of the Astro Boy series, the original Astro Boy series. I have it on my bookshelf, or I guess part one on my bookshelf. I'm so glad I get to like read those legally now, because they weren't in print for a long time. So now that I have access to them, hell yeah, I'm about to read them, or I guess read them again. I haven't read them since like middle school, but yeah. What else do I have up here? Blue Exorcist is one of my favorite manga. I love Blue Exorcist. It was kind of the thing that got me into manga, or I guess collecting manga as a kid. You don't need me to tell you this, but I may have a streak of being a bit of a contrarian. So, while everyone else was reading Naruto and getting caught up on Naruto, I was like, Naruto. I'm reading Blue Exorcist. That's the real shit. Yeah, I've been reading Blue Exorcist ever since, despite its massive delays. Which Naruto didn't have any delays. So I guess that's butternut squash and egg cream sauce all over my face. Everyone got to fucking read Naruto and get that shit to completion. I'm still waiting, but I still love me some Blue Exorcist. I still love Blue Exorcist, but yeah, those are like my top 3 favorite manga personally: Akira, Astro Boy, and Blue Exorcist. Supreme, unlike Jason, I like where this is going. How come Bucky being revived as both Winter Soldier and briefly Captain America worked out better? Is it because Bucky was more interesting? I hate to answer your question with a question, but did bringing back Bucky work out better than Jason? I don't know if it did. I still... Okay, Brubaker's run on Captain America aside. Outside all that. Where has Bucky been, like, properly utilized in comics? I mean, I like him in the MCU, but even then, he's just kind of... Oh, he's cool in the Winter Soldier movie. And I like him in Civil War for the most part. And then he's just there, and I don't care about him. He's a dope image. Just like I think Jason Todd is Red Hood is a dope image. But I don't know, man. I don't think either character is really worked post their resurrections. But I mean, if you're referring to, like, I guess pop culture, MCU, plain and simple, the MCU. It's made a lot of people think that Bucky's like an interesting character. Remix. Jason should have stayed a villain or stayed dead. I ruined everything. Oh, what's up, Harry Comics? How you doing? I scrolled too far. Okay, there we go. Remix says Jason should have stayed a villain or stayed dead to be a reminder of Batman's ultimate failure. His anti-hero New 52 persona was not... New 52 persona has not been as interesting. I agree. The problem with Jason Todd, and I talk about this a lot, but Jason should have stayed a villain. He should have stayed a villain. Or if you're gonna make him an anti-hero, don't pair him back up with the Bat family. Don't do that. No, that... It's like, you ever have that... You ever out with your friends and you watch as your buddy is trying to talk to a girl that he thinks is pretty, and it starts off all right, it's shaky, but this you can work from there. There's some stuff he can do, and if he gets his cards right, my man's is in there like swimwear. And then he keeps talking. And then he keeps talking. He keeps talking. And you just kind of get in this headspace of, oh shit, how do I ensure to this young woman that she's not going to be a sexual assault victim or a murder victim, because my buddy is making her feel real uncomfortable right now because he's just saying all the wrong things and he's doing all the wrong things, and oh my god, how do I get out of this situation? How do I get my buddy out of this situation? This is not how we're supposed to go. This is not how the night was supposed to go. That's what it feels like watching DC just kind of flail around with Jason Todd as a character. Judd Winnick, I think Tony Daniel. I don't remember. But Under the Hood comes out, and it's not great. Just to be nice about it. A lot of interesting ideas in it. Ideas which the movie certainly, I feel, takes those ideas and like elevates them and actually executes them well. But Under the Hood comes out, not great. Grant Morrison has their stint on Batman. Okay, reimagines Jason as a new type of foil for a new type of Batman. I thought that was an interesting status quo. But then after that, it just kind of feels like, all right, and cool. And what about Red Hood and the Outlaws? And what about Red Hood as like 007 Punisher? And he's always banging Starfire, because that's cool, isn't it? And then what about, you guys like the Under the Red Hood movie, so let's just do cheap knockoff versions of that in the comics and call back to that a lot, huh? DC, what the fuck? What the fuck? What are you doing? What? Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. We're leaving the bar. We're going home. You're getting coffee. I'm taking you home. You're gonna sober up because you're making everybody in the bar feel real uncomfortable right now. Stop it. Stop. That's just. That's how I feel about Jason Todd. Okay, but yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Supreme says, I once said Batman doesn't have bat-damaging stories like Spidey. I was wrong. Yes, you were wrong. Batman comics from 2001 to 2006, mostly bad. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yeah, you're not wrong there. Nightwing getting raped a second time and his whole city got destroyed. Yeah. Although I heard that Okay. To be fair, um, Bloodhaven being nuked did not happen in the pages of Nightwing. That's actually like that happens in Infinite Crisis, I think. Right? I don't think Chuck Dixon. I don't think no, not Dixon. Yeah, I don't think Chuck Dixon ends his run with that, and I don't think Devin Grayson does that either. I strongly believe that's Infinite Crisis. Because Brimstone's like dropped from like a massive like drop in like the helicopter, right? And it happens like in the beginning of the book too. I got it right here. I'm checking. God, this book is so good. First of all, one of my favorite events ever written. I saw a video by Perch earlier, and he was talking about how with his guest. Damn, I can't remember. But they're talking about how like events have just sucked since like 1990. You're wrong, Perch buddy. Infinite Crisis is probably one of the best superhero comics ever published. But son of a mother fapping biscuit fucker. God, where is it? Okay, this is where Crispus Attucks becomes the Spectre. There's a real like the freedom fighters get the shit kicked in by like Reverse Flash. Fuck man, where is it? It happens very early on. I know it does not happen in the Nightwing book because that would make no sense. I don't think the Nightwing book touches on that at all. Where is it? I don't remember being this far in though. Like I'm at the part when like Superman first shows up and like saves that building from crashing with his heat vision. All right, now I'm at the part where the Themyscira disappears. Anti-Monitor Corpse being turned into a giant machine by Alexander Luthor. I mean Jesse Eisenberg. Superboy fight. Crispus becomes the Spectre. Wally gets sucked into the Speed Force. No, wait, what? Okay, is it this deep in? Because I did not think that was the case. Unless I just passed it up. I probably just passed it up. Because there's no way in hell. There's no way in hell. Because now we're at the Superman fight. No. What? What? That's insane. Am I going crazy, chat? Did I just misinterpret this comic that I hailed as like my favorite comic ever written? Like one of my favorite comics ever written? Like what? No. I guess so. Holy shit. I guess he doesn't die. I guess Bloodhaven doesn't get destroyed in Infinite Crisis. My bad. Yeah, it's my mistake. Holy crap. Yeah. I thought for sure because it was it's not Nitro. It's like he's a green dude. And I don't mean Ryan Reynolds in blackface. That's me. I'm Ryan Reynolds in blackface. Always have been. Well, yeah, I guess. I don't know. Shit. I thought it was an Infinite Crisis, but maybe I'm wrong. Item says he's better as a story rather than a character. Oh, Jason Todd? Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. You know what's crazy about that though? Um, I in my playthrough of Arkham Knight, I kind of realized something about Batman in the Arkham games. Batman's a really shitty detective in that universe. Like, just the worst. The worst. Like, okay, Jason dying. Um, that's just never followed up on. Like Bruce never. He never like tries to find a body. He never tries to recover Jason. He just takes the Joker at his word. What? I mean, look, I know you have to like use detective vision to like do your detective work for you and all, but like, bro, what? That, Arkham Knight's a terrible game. And I'm very glad that that is not Kevin Conroy's, the late great Kevin Conroy's final performance as Batman. I am so happy for that. Um, Remix says, at least in terms of like negative impact on the character. Oh, early 2000s? Yeah. Yeah. You know what's funny? I think the 2000s, more than the 80s, more than the 90s, really pushed Batman in this direction of being like hyper dark and like, no, he can't just be like a vigilante who helps the police. He has to be the outlaw who puts his cape over his mouth like Dracula and growls like he's swallowed a bunch of like cigarette butts from an ashtray. I'm Batman. Because Batman just wasn't that character for like the longest time. Like that take on the character is very recent. Um, like I'm reading through the New Gotham era in trade, and you have Batman like walking up to like you have Gordon like discussing matters with Batman from like the shadows, as if the entire fucking world doesn't know who Batman is, and that Batman helps the GCPD, and they're doing all this like cloak and dagger, like I can't talk to you, but I can give you this information, right? Like bitch, Batman's like been at active crime scenes before, and like post like Crisis on Infinite Earths, like that material was not retconned. So what? I don't know. I don't know. Also, just Bruce has a weird voice in the 2000s. That's where that like I work alone and I'm gruff and angry. I don't trust anybody. I'm Batman. Like that's where that take on Batman comes from, because it's not really who the character is in the 90s. It's not really who the character is in the 80s, let alone the 70s and the 60s. I don't know. But yeah, 2000s not a good time for Batman at all. Um, hey, what's up, Barry? Um, the only good stuff in the early to mid 2000s Batman is the Cassandra Cain Batgirl, Gotham Central, Brubaker and Darwin Cook's Catwoman and Birds of Prey. I feel like the good stuff were the holdovers from the O'Neill editorial watch. I can definitely see that. I have not read Brubaker and Darwin Cook's Catwoman. I'm not a big Catwoman guy. Like, I don't like Catwoman. I think she's a very annoying character. It's one of those things where I get the moral ambiguity, and I understand the whole bat cat dynamic. The problem is like just bitch, pick a side already. Like you what are you doing? Like it's just so annoying to me. Um, Also, some of the drama they have between Batman and Catwoman is like it plays for an early years Batman. It does not play for a Batman who has been in serious relationships with other women, namely Silver St. Cloud and Talia al Ghul. Yeah, I don't buy some of the like Bat Cat stuff where like Bruce Wayne's just like a painfully inept like 14-year-old boy when he's hanging around her, like in Jeff Loeb's run, or in some of the stuff with Tom King, despite really liking a lot of that material. Yeah, I don't buy that comic book Batman is like that, kind of like head over heels for Catwoman in that way. Gotham Central is pretty good. You can definitely tell that Ed Brubaker does not like superhero comics at all, and he doesn't like Batman, but Gotham Central, like dude, the freaking the DC Sniper arc with Joker is just fantastic. Like, okay, I don't want to talk about it too hard. Like, if you haven't read Gotham Central, do yourself a favor. Amend that, please. Gotham Central's fantastic. And did I ruin the stream? I hope I didn't ruin the stream. I didn't ruin the stream. Nice. Alright. But Gotham Central's fantastic. And I also love Cassandra Cain. That's my favorite Batgirl. I have the Cassandra Cain Silent Night run on my bookshelf over there. It's great. Best Batgirl. I really hate that one of my favorite recent videos, the Barbara Gordon Batgirl Legacy video. One of my like worst videos ever. Just in terms of like editing, just I tried using DaVinci Resolve and that did not work. So I guess that's what I get for trying new shit. Just everything falls apart, and I get like choppy audio. Well, it's my fault, but everything I say in that video, I still stand by. I think the Batgirl Legacy is like, I think that is DC's best legacy. Like, I really do. I think that is the best legacy in DC Comics. Supreme says, also on Frank Miller, Frank Miller's Batman, I feel year one is more suitable for new readers. Year one was designed as a blueprint for what modern monthly Batman comics should be. I don't know if I agree with that. I think year one is a really well told story. I think it's an excellent story. But if I'm gonna read a Batman story, I'd like for it to be about Batman. Batman year one is more about Gordon than anything else. I mean, granted, Bruce and Gordon are like dual protagonists in that series, but as far as I'm concerned, Gordon is a side character. He is an auxiliary character. He adds to the story, the myth, the legend of Batman, who I am interested in reading about first and foremost. It's not that I don't give a shit about Gordon. I do like Gordon. It's just I like Gordon in relation to Batman. That's just how I feel about that. 616 Man, I like Spider-Man, X-Men, Batman, Superman franchises. Oh yeah, nice. Yeah, me too. Yeah, they're pretty cool. Although with X-Men, I think I like the idea of the X-Men more so than I actually like the X-Men. I have a lot of those where I like the idea behind a character or a title or an IP, but then like actually like reading it or engaging with it, I realize that I don't like that thing. I like the idea behind the thing. X-Men is definitely that for me. The thing with X-Men is that I don't think all the reasons that I think the X-Men are fascinating are the reasons why X-Men fans don't give a shit about the X-Men. Okay, I can rephrase that. I'll, let me take that back and make this make more sense. The reasons I am fascinated by the X-Men, right? The things that pique my interest about those characters in that side of the Marvel Universe are not things that hold any interest for actual X-Men comics readers and fans. Um, I am far more interested in the science fiction people concept. I'm far more interested in a lot of the politics and some of the world building surrounding humanity's response to mutants. I am much more interested in the ongoing legacy of this struggle and how each generation is affected. Um, but I don't think X-Men fans are really interested in any of that stuff. I think X-Men fans are more interested in like the soap opera and the drama and the like. Cable's in love with Madeline Pryor, but Madeline Pryor's a clone of his mother. Ooh, it's incest for the Wincest. Ooh, let's talk about Oedipus here. I think it's more the uh, Wolverine's in love with Jean Grey, and Jean Grey's the good little girl, but she's also in love with Cyclops. But she really deep down wants to get rugged with Wolverine. I think it's that. I think that's what X-Men fans are like really into, like the soap opera stuff, and I can't. I can't. I can do it with Spider-Man, but that's because I have a weird. I relate to Spider-Man in some of the best and worst ways, but like I relate to Peter Parker. I fucks with that character, so I can put up with that. In fact, not just put up with that. I revel in it. I don't relate to the X-Men. Um, I was not super attractive or charismatic or super like ultra mega talented or special as a kid, and I didn't grow up in a mansion with like a bunch of other co-eds and like bang my way through the entire mansion. I don't relate to that at all. I much more relate to like like Peter Parker being um like a cagey kind of like angry uh like rebellious but not sure how to express that kind of like awkward sausage kind of guy. Like I like growing up I related to Peter Parker way more than I related to the X-Men. Which I guess that's why the X-Men like never really hooked me in the same way Spider-Man did, but um the X-Men is something that I appreciate on like a concept level. I like the idea of the X-Men. It's just the actual X-Men comics. They don't grab me. Um, but yeah. Um. Oop. Hold on a second. All right, sorry, my bad. Um, fuck, where was I? Oh, there we go. Remix says, why do you think there isn't a lot of crossover between manga fans and comic fans? I like both, but it seems most people just want to stick to one or the other. That's because I think people have this like one or the other kind of mindset when it comes to everything. You know, I think comics and manga are viewed as like two separate entities when they're really not. It's kind of like, in a weird way, it's a lot like food. You know, like if someone says, "I don't like Mexican food. I only eat Chinese food." Like superficially, yeah, they're very different. But like when you kind of break it down, you just take a step back and you just look at both Chinese food and Mexican food. Um, what do you got? You got rice, your grain. You got chicken or beef, which is your protein, and you got like some sort of like steamed or spicy vegetable mix. Same fucking thing. Same thing. The whole like manga versus comics argument is soul numbingly just what the fuck are you talking about, dog? Like comics and manga are the same thing. Manga are just comics that you read from right to left instead of left to right. Yeah. It's I don't know. There is no like one or the other kind of thing in my head, so I just don't really get why people draw those. Whatever. That just grates my balls into like a million pieces. I hate it. But people do that. People just tend to make those distinctions. That is what it is. Perry says, just started reading manga. Got some Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Black Clover. Oh, nice. Rurouni Kenshin. I don't know what that last one is. Let me Google it. I swear to God, this turns out to be like, I don't know. This turns out to be hentai. Well, thank you. Cause you've provided me sauce. Wait, I've seen this before. Oh wait, this is like an old school manga. Yeah, because there's an anime adaptation of this at some point, right? Yeah. Oh shit. Okay. You got some good culture in you. Well, not good culture because clearly you're reading Black Clover. That's. I only say that because Ziggy Gamma loves Black Clover. I don't dislike it. I just like fucking with Ziggy Gamma, making fun of him for liking things. Naruto's pretty cool. My girlfriend just finished all of Naruto, but doesn't want to watch Boruto. I don't know why, but yeah. Oh yeah, we were just talking about Dragon Ball Z too. Yeah, I'm playing Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, so that's how I'm getting Dragon Ball. But yeah, Dragon Ball is real dope. Supreme says on War Games, Tim should have straight up disowned Bruce as a mentor after what happened to Stephanie. Yeah, but that's like one in a laundry list of things DC should have done with the character of Tim Drake from 2004 to now. But yeah, Bruce was a crappy mentor to Steph when she was Robin. It was one more day levels of character assassination. I agree. Blue Exorcist is where it's at. Yes! Back in my day, it was Yu Yu Hakusho. And it's still fire. Yu Yu Hakusho. I know that name. Is it the Spirit Gun? Is it the Spirit Gun manga? With the dude with the pompadour? It is! He doesn't have a pompadour, though. I don't know why, but I remember him vividly having a pompadour. Yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho is dope. I love the hell out of that. I remember being at my grandma's house. She had this big ass TV. Like, I mean, maybe not that big. I was like 6 or 7. So like, I guess 36 inches was big to me at that age. Sorry, children. But she had a massive TV in the living room. And I would sometimes like stay up late when I was at her house on the weekends, and I would just like fall asleep watching cartoons and then wake up at like 2 in the morning and like Yu Yu Hakusho's on. Dope shit. Yeah. Yo, yeah, Yu Yu Hakusho's dope. Adam says, Jason Todd is garbage. Well, shit, man. Tell us how you really feel. Literally, he was better as a story rather than a character who knows. No one knows what to do with him because there's nothing to him. I disagree with that. I think there's definitely some stuff that you can do with Jason Todd. It's just DC refuses to do anything cool with Jason Todd because Jason Todd is unfortunately a popular character. I'll do a video of this on this at some point, but I love how when Grant Morrison kills off Bruce Wayne and has Dick Grayson take up the mantle as Batman. I love how, and it's that Scott Snyder idea. It's from I think Black Mirror. That idea of, like, Gotham will always like shift itself and adjust itself to mirror whoever's Batman at the time. Grant Morrison plays with this idea with Jason Todd, where Jason, as Red Hood, is supposed to be a reflection of whatever Batman is insecure about, preying on Batman's biggest fears. And Batman's biggest fear is basically creating Joe Chill. That's what Jason kind of exemplifies. He walks around with guns, and he's dressed up in like a leather jacket. He looks like a guy who would walk up to a family in an alley and shoot them. Like that's a sore spot for Bruce. And Jason is that's what he's doing to Bruce. But that doesn't work on Dick Grayson. Because Dick Grayson doesn't exactly have the same hang-ups that Bruce has. However, the hang-ups that Dick does have when he becomes Batman are all surrounding this sort of what's the term? I guess you can say imposter syndrome, regarding being the new Batman. Um, and Jason preys on those insecurities by adjusting his costume to be less like motorcycle fetish, as John DiMaggio would call it, and more like traditional, campy, like Silver Age superhero style. And I think that was a stroke of genius on Grant Morrison's part. I think that was a brilliant take on the character. And you know, bless him. I really do wish that Grant Morrison got to do that 10-year stint on Batman and Robin Reborn. That would have been amazing. And I really wonder what the character of Batman would have looked like if that status quo continued. But yeah, no, that alone to me proves that you can do really interesting stuff with Jason Todd. It's just, will DC do interesting stuff with Jason Todd? I don't know. And 616 man, Mr. Gold Green Beanie should do videos based on his idealized pitch for his version of the Marvel and DC universes. Do you want me to? Do you want me to? I'll make that a poll after the stream's over. If you guys want me to, I can definitely do that. I scrolled too aggressive. Oh, alright, well. Shit, fuck. Alright, scrolled too aggressively. Well, anyways, in that news, I guess, let me show you some of the comics that I got this week. I gotta get them out of my drug bag, because these are my drugs. Seriously, who needs to do drugs when you have comics as a hobby? Like, good lord. So first up, I got Black Adam, number 6 by Christopher Priest, and I think Eddie Barrows. His name Eddie Barrows? Am I just filling shit in? Yeah, Eddie Barrows. I like this book. It's cool. It continues to be everything that I would assume a Christopher Priest written Black Panther book would be. It's all about, I guess, the implication of power and what power means to those who grew up without having power. How Black Adam's like trying to bring order to a largely like chaotic land that has been chaotic because of oligarchical I guess like interest for whatever reason, be it ideological or financial. But Teth Adam is really just trying to be the best ruler that he possibly can be, and I think that idea is fascinating. You know, I think it's really interesting how Adam is kind of the Doctor Doom of the DC universe in a way, and Batman, for very like ideological reasons, does not like Black Adam, and he's very open about that in funding the rebel groups that are trying to destabilize Black Adam's reign and regime in Kahndaq. But Black Adam kind of like fires back at him and says like, how is what I'm doing any different from what you're doing in Gotham? You're basically a goddamn shogun of that godforsaken cesspit of a city. You don't see me going over to Gotham and like starting all these like anti-Batman like crime bills and shit. Like just leave me alone. You know, I think that's very fascinating, and I'm really kind of liking what Christopher Priest is doing with this character and this series. Also, I love that Eddie Burroughs puts Batman in the Dark Knight Returns armor. There's a bit here that feels like an homage to BVS, like right here. Well, actually, not just BVS. This armor right here looks like it's did I just say BVS? Fuck, I meant Dark Knight Returns. What the hell is wrong with me? But you know, the Dark Knight Returns armor, but the scene is very reminiscent of the rooftop moment in BVS, because it's actually not raining in the Dark Knight Returns. So you know what? There we go. I saved myself. I think it's snowing in Dark Knight Returns with that confrontation, because it's like the nuclear fallout snow, which I guess means everyone in Gotham should be dead. Oh, I never thought about that before. Weird. But yeah, I actually don't think this is the Dark Knight Returns armor. This actually looks more like the Predator armor from Batman vs. Predator. But yeah, it's cool. This book is like, it's great. I'm an absolute like simp for Christopher Priest. Everything he touches, just, it's gold for me. This man could literally shit gold and I'd eat it up. And that's that. Now on to this bad boy right here. We have World's Finest number 9. This is the 90s cover. I got it because it just, come on, man, this thing looks so cool. It's really funny, poking fun of the exaggerated cape styles of the 90s. But yeah, this book just continues to be just pure Silver Age joy for me. Mark Waid is telling a flashback story, and he adds in a new character to the Silver and I guess kind of Bronze, more Bronze Age, less Silver Age, because the like Dick Grayson's like a teenager, you know, and like, but it's still the original Teen Titans, but they are significantly kind of older, I suppose. But yeah, no. Mark Waid and Dan Mora are kind of doing this like ode to the pre-crisis era of DC, and it's working really well. Mark Waid like integrates the new character, I think Kid Lightning, very kind of seamlessly. Or I guess so far, seamlessly. I'm wondering how he's gonna wrap up this loose end. Loose end meaning Danny's existence, or not Danny, David's existence. And he might be doing that with the Joker. As the I guess cover A of this book suggests, with Joker about to crowbar the shit out of David. But yeah, no, I'm into it. I also just, dude, the way Dan Mora draws Batman is just perfect. I love Batman with the yellow oval. That's like my favorite take on the character visually. That's how I see Batman in my head. That's how I draw Batman whenever I draw Batman. Yellow oval is supreme. That's how you do Batman, I feel. But yeah, I'm really into this book. I also love Dan Mora's Joker. I like how Mark Waid also brings back the idea that Joker is just a villain in the DC universe. He's not the villain of the DC universe. That's like a thing that's always kind of like annoyed the fuck out of me with like a lot of the more recent takes on the Joker as a character. He feels too. I don't see modern Joker ever being on like the Legion of Doom. You know, I don't see him working well with anybody. I just see him like running around killing people randomly. Like, this Joker feels like a guy who hangs out with like the Gotham criminals in a bar, and I missed this Joker. So, yeah, this book continues to be great. It has a classic kind of DC universe feel to it, but also feels fresh and kind of new and exciting. And I think that's, first of all, that's just a goddamn impossible task that Mark Waid is like lunged upon himself, but he's doing a damn fine job of it, and Dan Morris doing a damn good job of depicting it visually. So this book continues to be great, and it gets my money. And the last book that I got this week, not that there weren't like other great books out. Like I was like really into a lot of comics that came out this week. A comic that I did read but I didn't have enough money to buy was Flash number 788. Jeremy Adams just continues to deliver everything Flash fans have been asking for the past decade. I really like how they brought back Warden Wolf, although he's like the mayor now. Wally doesn't know who he is, which is interesting. So I'm curious to know if the pre-New 52 stuff is like not canon anymore. Like, I don't know. That's. But yeah, that book is really good. And if you're a Flash fan, you should definitely be picking it up because it's what we've been asking for like a decade. So just support it, please. Thank you. I say as I didn't buy the damn book this week, but I will next week. I'll get it. I'll get it eventually. But the last book that I got this week is Apocalypse 91: Revolution Never Sleeps by artist Chuck D. And writer Troy Allen. So for those of you who don't know, Troy is actually a friend of mine. And Troy actually didn't just write one of these. I think Troy wrote this with a bunch of other creators. Writers Chuck D., Regine Sawyer, Shay Grayson, and Evan Narcisse. With illustrators Chuck D., Coy Turnbull, Carlos Olivares, and Butch Mappa. Oh, and Mike Del Mundo did the cover. Holy shit. That's awesome. But yeah, no, Troy's a friend of mine. He's a friend of the channel. So when I saw his name on this, I had to pick it up. This is a book that like I've seen on Troy's like social media forever. I just never knew when the hell it was gonna come out. This book is really good. If you are a fan of like old school like 90s hip hop, if you're a fan of really just music in general and the arts in general, if you're a fan of like cyberpunk and like Afrofuturism, this is the book for you. So basically this is an ode to art and its place within society, and how art is the ultimate form of rebellion in the face of tyranny. A lot of this was just kind of like up my alley. These are like my sensibilities, definitely. I mean, that's no surprise there. But I was a big fan of this. I don't know how to talk about it without like spoiling it. It's one of those where, you know, if you describe the color of the car seat, then you can figure out that it's like a Maserati or some shit. Like That's what kind of trap this book is. So I guess without giving too much away, without like going too deep into detail, because I really do want people to buy this. This is a really good comic. You see the course of humanity from the 90s well into, I think, like the 24th century. No, the 29th century, actually. And you see how art, music in particular, but just the arts in general, play a role in human civilization and what art means to everybody through these generations. Really good stuff. Again, I can't overstate how much I enjoyed this. Troy, you surprised me with how good of a... I'm kidding. Troy's a great writer. I already kind of knew that, though. But, yeah, no, guys, this is great. Definitely check this out at your local comic book shop if you can get a hold of it. Or just ask for it. Like, I don't know how the ordering for shit works, but, yeah. Last book that I got, and I really enjoyed it. But, you know, those are all the comics that I got this week. Let's see where the fuck I left off with chats, because I don't remember where anything is now. That was my esophagus. And that was me burping through my esophagus. Jesus. I think I left off here. Alright. So 616 Man says Judd Winnick and Andy Dickel, Alan Moore edition, resurrection, and postmodernism commentary, bro. Yeah. Adam says, see, here's the thing that separates Punisher and Jason. Frank actually has a motivation to kill crime that is understandable and malleable for stories. Jason has none whatsoever. Well, I don't know. I think for Frank just wants to die. I think Frank really just wants to die in the heat of battle, and take as many people as he possibly can with him. It's just he doesn't fucking die because he's a main character in a Marvel comic and he's cursed like that. But yeah, no, I think the motivation for Jason is just forever being like a thorn in Batman's side. Which, again, I think you can make work. It's just people haven't made it work. That's the problem. Man says, I rather have Punisher and Kingpin as Spider-Man characters than Daredevil characters. Yeah, I can see that. I personally really like them as Daredevil characters, though, because Daredevil is a far more involved character in terms of the superhero side of his life. Spider-Man is the opposite. You're not reading a Spider-Man comic for the superhero stuff. You're reading the Spider-Man comic for the soap opera, the melodrama, the baby mama drama, the baby daddy drama, the oh no, my Aunt May is sick yet again kind of drama. That's what you're reading a Spider-Man comic for. And the superhero stuff's just like nipple cherries, you know, just I didn't need them, but nice. Glad they're there. Ideally, that's what Spider-Man books are. So it's cool when It's cool when Punisher and Kingpin show up in Spider-Man books, but that's just like an extension of the superhero stuff, which is just the cool stuff that comes with the Spider-Man book. Whereas I think Daredevil comics get more into like the meat and potatoes of like who those characters are and like how they are reflections ultimately of Matt Murdock, But yeah, I don't know. That's yeah. Adam says Bloodhaven gets nuked because it's Deathstroke who drops chemo. It's chemo who gets dropped. Okay, yes. Who did I say? Brimstone? Yeah. Later it was retconned that Jason actually orchestrated that to happen. That sounds stupid. Potentially could be cool, but that sounds stupid. I don't know. Let me read this shit again. Hold on a second. Hold on just a goddamn second. Okay, I'm still looking for where the hell we see Bloodhaven get like nuked by chemo. When does that shit happen? Does it happen like later in the story? Because I always thought it happened like early. Like one of the first things to happen in this book. Am I wrong? Perhaps? Hold on. Also, I will say, I love this fight between classic Superman and modern Superman. I just love the idea that like a pre-crisis Superman just beats the living shit out of a post-crisis Superman, and his whole thing is, I was perfect and you are dark and gritty and that's bad, so I gotta beat the fuck out of you because you're not the real Superman, I'm the real Superman. He's basically just kind of speaking for DC Comics fans who kind of like hate modern Superman. I usually kind of cringe when people do the whole like, you could do this in a movie, yeah. But this whole exchange, especially the bit where Golden Age, or I guess much rather Silver Age Superman, like he just lays into post-crisis Superman, and he says, you had the opportunity to make the Earth into the perfect world it had the potential to be, and you wasted it. That's why I had to come back here. That's why my Lois died. And then post-crisis Superman says, if you're from this Earth, it can't be perfect. Because a perfect Earth doesn't need a Superman. And that just completely shatters classic Superman. Like, I would love to see that scene play out between Christopher Reeve, but yeah, actually no, yeah, maybe you can see Jack Christopher Reeve in, maybe you just make it Brandon Routh and call it a day, but I'd love to see that scene play out between classic movie Superman and Henry Cavill Superman. Like, can you imagine a movie where like old school Superman with the trunks and everything, he's just laying in to Henry Cavill Superman? He's like, you're dark and gritty and you're bad and you made everything worse and you died and you frowned, you saved people, but you didn't look like you enjoyed it. You're always frowning and meh. He's just repeating everything from r/Superman. But you have that whole interaction, and then Henry Cavill Superman just kind of looks up at him and says, you keep saying you're from this perfect world, but that can't be true because a perfect world doesn't need Superman. That is so perfect. I would love to see that. And fuck, it is just so ironic and weird that Jeff Johns was the guy who came in to fix the DC movies and make them less dark and gritty. Just you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the antagonist of the story that you wrote. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I still don't know where the fuck this whole bit with Chemo is supposed to be. Like, when does he drop? When does he? When does Deathstroke drop Chemo in Bloodhaven? Is that like in the middle of this? Cause I always swore that it was in like the beginning of the story. I could be wrong, but like, holy crap! Yeah, man, I don't remember. I don't remember it being this deep in or this far back, or I don't know, but it is what it is. Supreme says, I don't get why 2000 Batman editorial had a hate boner for Stephanie Brown. Because nobody likes Stephanie Brown. Also, she's a Chuck Dixon creation, and Chuck Dixon left the company under not the best of terms. So I get it. Without condoning nor condemning, I get it. Supreme says, on Batman vs. Robin, I've grown sick of Damian. His continuing presence has turned Batman into a tired soap opera. How many times do you have to deal with Damian's mommy and daddy issues? Until the end of fucking time. I could not stand that idea where Batman is an urban myth in the streets. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense, man. Like, the whole, like, urban myth idea works for, like, an early in his career kind of Batman. Doesn't really work so well when Batman is, like, literally on the front page of the Daily Planet fighting Starro alongside the Flash and Superman and Wonder Woman and Martian Manhunter in like the middle of the day at fucking like rush hour of shit or like some shit in Metropolis Bay. Like, that's just not. There's a whole bit in Gotham Central, which is admittedly pretty funny until you start thinking about it, where some like evaluation manager or whatever the fuck is like asking them about Batman, and I think it's Crispus Attucks and Renee Montoya are like, what are you talking about? There's no such thing as a Batman. Bitch, he's on the Justice League. We literally saw him, like, the news press were invited to the Justice League Watchtower, and we saw Prometheus beat up everybody in the Justice League, including Batman, and then he gets defeated on national television by Catwoman kicking him in the balls. Like, I don't know how you, like, deny Batman's existence plausibly after that. It just doesn't. I don't know. There's a lot of stuff like that. It just doesn't make sense to me. Very clearly pulling from Dark Knight Returns. That was something that Frank Miller introduced to Dark Knight Returns, or I guess introduced to the Batman mythos through Dark Knight Returns. Gordon and Batman, they don't officially know each other. They don't officially talk to each other because, Batman's a vigilante. He's on the outside of the law, so he can't be seen talking to the cops. It doesn't make any sense. Except in continuity, Batman did that all the time. Yeah, everyone knows who Batman is at this point. It's ridiculous. The Batman and Catwoman doesn't do it for me. Where Peter and Felicia had their relationship where they were young and grow in different paths. Bruce and Selina are damn near 50, acting like teenagers. Yeah, and that's why I don't like it. By the way, what was your reaction? Use a Simpsons quote describing Spider-Man's age. Simpsons quote. In video, let me see. Shut up. Yes! Yeah, I used to be it. But then they changed what it was. I gotta do that in Grandpa Simpson's voice. I used to be it. And then they changed what it was. Now I'm... Fuck. Now, what I'm with isn't it anymore. What's it just seems weird and scary. It'll happen to you. Yeah, that was great. I love it. Simpsons is just like so perfect to like quote in a lot of instances, and that was one of them. Expertly done. Hot take, Black Cat is way more interesting than Catwoman, especially pre-One More Day Felicia. Ironically, a lot of her growth came after she broke up with Pete and he got married to MJ. I don't like Black Cat either. I think Black Cat is like cool within the context of the 70s and 80s. I do not like what Marvel tries to do with Black Cat after that, though. Really? Over Flash and Green Lantern Legacy? Oh, Batgirl Legacy? Oh, hell yeah. The Batgirl Legacy is way better than the Flash Legacy. The problem with Green Lantern's Legacy is that it's not really a legacy. Like, being a Green Lantern is like being a cop or like a knight. It's like trying to say that like the Jedi in Star Wars have a legacy. They don't. Individual Jedi don't really have like legacy characters that like take on their mantle or whatever the hell. It's not the same. But better than the Flash Legacy? Yeah. The problem with the Flash Legacy is that when you get to the 2000s, Flash largely just kind of, ironically enough, starts spinning its wheels. That's a problem that up until recently, Batgirl didn't really have. So that's why I say it's probably the best legacy in DC Comics. Adam says, I love the days where Logan was just the new guy in the X-Men. Now he just teams up with Cap. Sorry. I think I'm having a stroke. Let me see. I love the days when Logan was just the new guy on the X-Men. Now he's just the team's cat, or I guess mascot, that goes to other people's houses, drink, scream. Oh, cat, yeah. Goes to people's houses, drink, scream, cut things, and shred skin everywhere. Yeah. Yeah, no, Wolverine is totally the cat of the Marvel Universe. And I kind of hate it. But Wolverine also has the same problem that Jason Todd has, where he is just way too popular. To the point where, like, all the focus groups and all the editors, like, really get together and try to And that's the problem. They're trying to make Wolverine work. A character working, that shit just comes naturally and by accident, but it is what it is. Supreme Omega, been also reading the O'Neill 90s Azrael solo series. Azrael is the better version of Red Hood. Yes. Yeah, I can definitely see that. John Paul Valley is a more compelling character than Jason is. Thoughts? No, I agree. Like 1,000,000% I agree. What do you mean when you say nobody likes Steph? She's Tim's most popular interest besides Connor. Also, fans really hated how she was treated in War Games. Well, when I say nobody likes Steph, what I mean is that people don't know about Steph. They don't care. Not in the same way they care about, like, Barbara as Batgirl or even Jason as Red Hood. I mean, I don't like that people don't care, but what am I going to do about that? But yeah, War Games is terrible. Never should have happened. But here we are. But yeah. I guess with that, I'm probably gonna call it one. I'm actually like feeling really tired. I just got home from work, so I am beat. But thank you guys for showing up. I am really appreciative of all y'all. And yeah, if you want to see more videos like this, the like button, do the thing. If you're a lurker, you should totally go ahead and subscribe. I got more videos coming down the pipeline. I'm actually going to try and get the Superman video that I'm working on for about like a week uploaded this weekend. I think it might be cool. I hope it's cool. Anyways, thanks for watching, and as always, until next time, adios nachos, adios.